Today is July the 17th, 2020. This is the Service Hero Show, 365 Days of Awesome. Celebrate success through service. My name is Tamara Hunter. Here we tell the stories, the inspiring stories of those that are inspiring others. So let's do it. Today we have a very special show, and I mean special. I say that a bit because those special shows are special. However, this one is unlike any others I've ever done before. I can honestly say that. And the reason why is because of how I met this amazing service hero. This just a beautiful, amazing, unique, integrity-filled, service-driven person that contacted me on a day that my whole life seemed to be turning around. It was a day that has been now talked about in two different magazines. One, the Global Achievers magazine, of which I wrote the article, and then the second one, the VIP contributing writer, Cheryl Snap Connor of Snap Connor PR. She contacted me and wrote a piece. She submitted it to the Entrepreneur magazine, and yes, it was picked up. That event, that day that was talked about, was a day that I ended up talking about, saying how it felt like I was on a movie set or I was in the middle of an experience like War Games, that movie that was done way back in the day with Matthew Broderick. Many of you may remember it. The experience I'm talking about is one where, well, we're going to get into it. However, with what happened, this amazing woman, Christy Marks, she contacted me on one of the social media sites. And one of the networking somewhere where I had a profile, and she asked if I had contacted her in regards to something. And from there, she actually helped me. She was one of those that helped to get something rectified. And we took a stand together, and we only got to finally meet each other and kind of talk today. So I want to, with my full heart, with everything in me, say thank you publicly, Christy, because you are truly an amazing woman. You are a service hero.
You're welcome.
And you where this was LinkedIn. You have a business profile. I have a profile there. There is, and that is not necessarily my strong suit there on LinkedIn. I've just started really engaging on that on that platform. And in fact, I used to not even check my inbox. So I'm really lucky I checked it that day. You contacted me because you had something that was suspicious that happened, right?
Yes. So I had your account on Instagram had followed me, which I thought was awesome because I looked into you actually on LinkedIn to find out a little bit more about you. And I was like, oh, this is a great person to follow. I'd love to connect. So I followed back, and then the account messaged me and started talking, and everything seemed kind of normal, like thank you for following. And then the person posing as you said that I could get a federal grant through their agent, and was trying to essentially scam me out of lots of money by getting all of my information. So I decided to send you a message on LinkedIn because I know that that's one of the least hacked areas, to see if you had actually sent me those messages or if there was an actual hacker, because I had a feeling that it wasn't quite right that a philanthropist would be telling me to file for a grant through them.
Right. And,
Yeah.
and I want to recognize those that are coming on to the show right now. We have one of our senior ambassadors from the nonprofit that you've been hearing about on LinkedIn, the Chemo Buddies for Life, Sherry McQueen. Thank you
Hi,
for being
Sherry.
here. We have one of our ambassadors of the chat, Rachel Johnson.
Hi,
Rachel, so
Rachel.
glad you're here with us. I know others will be showing up here soon. So you 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 contacted me, and then you said, okay, i'm I'm not going to I'm going to see what happens, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you still helped us through that day, didn't you?
Yeah, so I continued like trying to get information from them and see. They sent me a phone number, and I figured if I shared that, that would help kind of shut everything down. And I made sure I reported to Instagram because we know that they're pretty good with taking fake accounts down. So I wanted to make sure. So I kind of kept in touch with you and gave you as much information as I had so that we could work together and really just make sure that no one else gets scammed, because I feel like I have a good eye for recognizing a lot of scams because they do things that are just a little fishy. So I want to make sure that I protect other people too.
And thank you for that, because this is the example of what the Service Heroes show is all about, guys. This right here, Christy right here, someone that really didn't know me, I didn't know, watching my back, watching our back. She had been contacted, felt it was fishy. Most people, I will say, many, and you can't really blame them. People are busy. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
However, many people would just delete, like, okay, not you, fine. But
Yep.
you continued to help. You stayed in contact. You were one of the ones, and we ended up with, I will never know the total number because it ended up being 2 and 3 people deep and wide, going wide. With
Mm-hmm.
we had over 100 people working with
Wow.
us that day to take this down. Because the bottom line is this: if they're going to go after someone that has the kind of, and I'm not going to say that I'm all that in a bag of chips, guys, really, we know the real deal. However, there are a few people that are associated with me, and every single one person means so much to me that I am all about protecting the one. And here you had been contacted with my name being used
Mm-hmm.
to possibly hurt you. That, in my book, was just totally unacceptable. It was like, okay, they're messing
Yeah.
with the wrong one. They're messing with
Yeah.
the wrong ones.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
that, and sure, this is another one that totally engaged and got others to too. Thank you, Christy. So appreciate your helping our Tamara. Big hugs and love to you. And many that engaged that day. The thing that, and yesterday I did have Trip Elix that was on, and he is very well known in many circles for being an internet security person. He also understands the social media, how not to get hacked, or if you are hacked, what to do, how to empower yourself so you're not feeling vulnerable. And he's going to actually come back again on Service Heroes. We're going to actually have him on a bit because we really need to understand if we're going to be in this area. And right now, many of us, because of what's happening in the world today, need to be out there. So let's talk about you. Let's find out about you as a person, because we've already established the fact that you are absolutely incredible. Because I will say this too: I had been contacted by Brooke Curran. I've mentioned her name in one of the articles, and it was referenced, but her name wasn't said in the other. And she's the one that tipped me off, and you were the one that confirmed it. You were the one, and when you were able to give me the screenshots, then I was able to have an idea of possibly where they were going. But because what she knew was that there was most likely that, well, we did confirm that there was someone that was starting to impersonate me, but we didn't know why. So that piece, it was a 1-2 punch. And so then I was able to go and do what needed to be done myself. And then the articles do explain the steps that were taken and what needs to be done to be protecting ourselves, because we can. That's the good news here, is that we can totally protect ourselves. So you, as you, can I just tell you, I just love this woman. It could not have been. I was meant to meet her. And you are a talented photographer. You've got a couple of businesses. That's why you're really linked into LinkedIn. And yet you also get what I'm doing with Chemo Buddies for Life, because you've been touched directly by cancer. I'm going to start there, and then we're going to go into your business. So why don't we learn a little bit of what you want to tell us about you? You know, you're living where, and you know, those kind of things. Now that I've been bragging about you for the last 11 minutes.
Okay, so I currently live in Orlando, Florida. I actually grew up in Western Pennsylvania in the Pittsburgh area. So I've only been here about 9 years. I am a mother of 2. I have a 5-year-old girl and a 3-year-old boy and a dog. And I love seeing those photos. Those are some of my favorite photos of my kids. Those are actually really recent too. And a dog and my husband, and we all live together in just west of Orlando. In terms of Chemo Buddies, and when I first connected with Tamara, I read out into it, and I was like, oh, I love this idea. I think it's a great idea. So my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer when she was 36, and I was about, 6 or 7, and I didn't know until I got much older that she actually had breast cancer. And when I was 16, she passed away. She was 45. So she was diagnosed with breast cancer. She went through chemo, radiation therapy. They suggested stem cell transplants, which at that time, she passed away in 2002. So at that time, was very, very, very new and kind of unknown territory. So we chose not to go into that. And then she passed away, unfortunately, in 2002. So cancer has touched my life. It's definitely, losing my mom at 16 shaped the way I see the world, and especially now, even more as a parent. So it's really changed me a lot and changed how I grew up, because you kind of give up being a kid when you lose a parent. It's really hard to remember how to just relax and it's okay and everything's normal, because it's not normal anymore. But
do you have any siblings? You know, what was that like? I mean, where do you fall in all of that?
So I am the youngest of 2. So I have an older sister. She's just 2 years older than me. So she was a junior and I was a senior, because we were just shy for having that 2-year split in groups. So I definitely felt like she went into we both kind of went into eggshell, like our little eggs. We were kind of hidden away for a while, and we dealt with it differently. She tended to go into herself more, and she's naturally an introvert, and I'm more of an extrovert. So I just kind of started acting out more. So there was a lot of fighting in our house, and I'm sure my dad will see this later. And
hi, Dad.
Hi, Dad. And I'm sure my sister is watching too. And I love you guys. And they did help me. Like, I feel like I worked through it more as an adult than I did as a teen. As a teen, it was just like, okay, can we just get things kind of back to regular, going back to school? And we all have a really great relationship now. We're much, much closer, even though they live in Pennsylvania and I'm here in Orlando. but yeah, so it was a really difficult time, and we both took it very different ways for quite a while, but we've always come together in our emotions, and we're always there for each other. We're all really close knit still. So.
And as I had explained to you and now to your family, is that the organization that was started, Chemo Buddies for Life, and again, for anybody that doesn't know, it doesn't matter what type of treatment the patient decides to go after, be it chemo, traditional, adjunctive, or alternative, doesn't matter. Our stand is be a part of a community, heal through connection with yourself, with buddies, and again, with the community, like a family. And so, and we are there for both the patient and those people that love and support them. And there is no expiration date on that for those that love and support them. Sometimes the patient has gained their wings, that's what we say. And so we're there for those that have possibly either they still need to work through something and may not even know it, or they want to serve. They want to serve those that they could relate with. And so that's what the nonprofit's all about. And the reason is because I'm one of the two original buddies and one of the co-founders. And now we are going international, and it's a program that every day we see miracles with. I'm so proud of it. And here's one of our ambassadors, the first ambassador of the chat, and actually one of my buddies, Helene Wilson. Glad you're with us. And we have one of our board members over digital platforms, the Emmy Award-winning Skip Thomas. So glad you're with us. And we are going to continue talking. And so you had said that your mom had the family, and so many buddies are not lucky enough to have a loving family that's there for them, and some do. However, you really felt that this could be something that she would have been able to use.
Yes, absolutely. I think that, when you're dealing with a family member with cancer, you really do need a support system. And it was, 1990s and early 2000, and she had our family, but I don't know that she really had anybody outside of that was like her go-to person for when she's experiencing things, because as a child and like my father, we weren't really dealing with it directly. So, as experiencing it. And I think that having had somebody for even us to like say, hey, this is what she's going through and this is how it's feeling inside. And as much as she could tell us, she didn't want to essentially burden myself and my sister with a lot of the details because we were so young. We were 16 and 18 when she passed. And most of the time when she was dealing with it, we were even younger. So we didn't quite get it. And I think that if we had somebody, or if she had somebody as just another level of support, it would have been really great for her as just something else, another uplifting thing. Like, we're fighting this together, just don't give up. Let's just keep going. You can do this kind of attitude.
Oh, and it's huge. It's huge. And I'm sure those buddies that are here and will tell you that it can make all the difference. It really can. It can be the thing that can tip you over. And now what is so encouraging, and since my cancer, I was sharing with you that my cancer that one of the two original buddies I am a survivor of is the same breast cancer. Yeah, it might have been drilled down differently, yet the good news stories are that there are developments taking place, and many more of us are surviving and getting through this. Yet there still is the need for us to understand, be there for each other, and to heal through. And so we are here with you now, and your family and anybody else, because the support people, it has been also very documented that support people need to have that same type of go-to person. Like, okay, and it doesn't matter if it was decades ago. We have breakthroughs that take place all the time now for people that thought they were doing okay, but then they break through it and then they're realizing, oh my, I really needed to get that finally, whatever it is, and then be able to heal through it and then go on and then help others. So that's really what it's really helping so many. Having a buddy really does help, even on your bad days. And I am thankful for my buddy every day. And one of the things too, it's been asked if you can have more than one buddy. Yes, you can. So with that, okay, so now you can even see it in the backdrop. You've got a beautiful backdrop there, and the lighting is like perfect. Okay, so you haven't just fallen off the turnip truck when it comes to the whole photo thing. You were telling me that your mom bought you something, and you fell in love with photography. What did she buy you?
So when I was in 6th grade, she purchased a disposable camera for me. It was actually, if you're, I don't know if they have them in your area, but Rite Aid pharmacies, they had this special thing. It was Eckerd back then, way, way, way long ago. And they had this special one that you would take it in and they would replace the film in it for you. So it wasn't just truly disposable, but you would take it in. They put new film in it for you, but it was disposable size. So she bought me a disposable camera, and the first thing I captured, and I actually still have it in a closet, is photos of every single one of my friends in 6th grade on the last day of school.
Well, okay. I actually, one Christmas, I got those for, many people don't know too many things about some of my family. Yet I do have four grown children now, but when they were younger, one year I decided, okay, I was going to get those. I thought, how interesting would that be? And there's a 12-year span, and the youngest one wasn't even in kindergarten yet, so you can only imagine. So it was so interesting to see the evolution of the pictures until they were finally lost, and those were not replaced any longer. But the youngest one, it was like, okay, why is this your sock? Like, okay, all right, good job. And then the oldest one, it was like, okay, much more creative and all of this. But it was that year, I will never forget. It was like the most prized gift that they had, and they had so much fun with those. I want to recognize what Sherry just said and reread it, or I had it up, but I want to read it because it really is a testimonial of what we are doing, and in truth, what you were helping to protect our image and our reputation, because they were using my name as the president of a nonprofit, this nonprofit. And what Sherry says here is all the difference in my world. Current stage 4 breast cancer with bone mats. I don't know what I'd do without chemo buddies. They have become my purpose in my cancer journey. And thank you, Sherry, for sharing that. And then Helene follows it up and says, I remember one of those cameras. I am getting really older than I was yesterday. She also, we have a great group. We have a lot of fun with it too. We just do. We humor, hope, heart, hugs, and a lot of love is what we share. So you, with that camera and that love, question before we go further, did you capture any pictures of your mother with it?
Yes. So I definitely have. I actually should have brought it into this room, but in a closet I have a box of all the photos that I took, and I have pictures of her from her birthday, from vacations. So she was the documenter or the picture taker in her family. She documented everything, like the birthdays, the vacations, the trips, the weekends at grandma's. She was always taking pictures, and so I essentially started doing the same thing in 6th grade. And so I have pictures of her from her birthday, and I have pictures from we went to a wedding together. and her all dressed up. And she was very small. She was about 4'9", and I'm 5'4", and my sister's 5'1". So we always had to make sure we took pictures of us standing next to her because we were super tall comparatively.
Oh yeah,
I could sit my chin on top of her head. So
how cute though. I mean, I had an aunt, a great aunt. She was also my godmother. That was at that. She was that height, and it's not that she shrunk to that height. That was her tall, and her whole body was kind of that way too. And so my uncle, who was a Navy man back in the day, and he's the one that I talk about in the Celebration Journal. Actually, he's kind of like Popeye the Sailor Man, and he used to get shoes from her in the Orient, because this was back in the day before you could Google, or Amazon or whatever you can do now and order things. But her foot was about the size of a child, yet you could get, adult type shoes for that size foot. It outside of our area, because they had them. Was her situation similar?
Yes, she shopped in the kids section. She was a kid size 3, so I have small feet. I'm a size 6.5 or a 6, but she was a size 3. So it was always a struggle trying to find like dress shoes and regular sneakers that weren't like sparkly and
that didn't flash and have wheels on the bottom or something, right?
Exactly. Yeah, there were no flashing shoes. Just struggling to find any of that. Absolutely.
Oh wow, what a memory. I mean, what a lovely memory too. Yes, absolutely. So let's go through this. I did capture some of, you started, okay, so you go to college, and
yes.
what did you major in?
So actually, I didn't tell you this, but I actually went to college twice. The first time I got an associate's degree as a medical administrative assistant.
Oh, that makes sense with the medical. Okay.
Yes,
that makes a lot of sense.
And then I worked in medical for a couple years. And then I immediately went back. Like I graduated in May or June 2008. And then in October, I went back for photography for my bachelor's degree. So I went to the Art Institute of Pittsburgh and received my bachelor's in 2011. So
that makes a lot of sense, because as I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, okay, you're good. I already knew you were, because I like you, and just everything about you, and the way that you engaged and everything. It shows a certain level of integrity and character and everything. Well then, guys, okay, I'm going to start sharing. Okay, we had these kind of pictures, okay, so you get your degree, and then you're working in like the glamour, the glam, the magazine, the type stuff. And that was, you said, because of why?
So after I graduated with my photography degree, we moved to Florida, and I tried to find something that was closest to what I wanted to do. And I ended up working with Parenting Magazine and Baby Talk Magazine as an assistant stylist. So and actually the image of the shoes and the props, that is from one of my internships with Rollins Magazine in Pittsburgh. So I photographed a lot of the objects on the page, not the people. And then the image that you showed on the left of the bride looking, that was actually for a beauty editorial for Destination Weddings and Honeymoons magazine. And that was in 2015, I believe, that I did that one.
Beautiful work. Okay, and then here's some more fun stuff. I just kind of grabbed some, like a cross section of looks and such. And I have two more after this. And whoa, wait until you see them. Okay, so here, Black Hole. What is it? Black Hole Sun.
Black Hole Sun, like the. I can't remember the artist, the song. So that was a fashion editorial for Slenderbread magazine, which was owned by a commercial photographer I worked with a lot. She ran a magazine for a little bit. And so I love doing fashion. I definitely thought that fashion was going to be what I was going to do. So I loved playing around in the studio. And so both of those were actually shot for Slenderbread magazine. And then I switched into beauty photography after that, because I just really love the face. I love people's faces. Yes, and those are actually some of my favorites. And
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, oh my golly, it's like I love movies and I go, straight to movies. And so, I'm thinking of the movie that that it's about the fashion magazine, the fashion world, and you see them doing all of the poses and all of this, and I'm picturing you. Oh yes,
yes,
right,
Yes, and I definitely. So beauty is one of my passions. I do a lot of portraits, and we'll talk a little bit more on that too. But I've kind of fell in love with beauty and the face and makeup. And when I see that I've gotten an image, I do like a little happy dance. I'm like, yes, we got it. I'm so excited. Like, this is perfect. And I've worked with a lot of different models, some that have a ton of experience and some that have no experience. Actually, the model on the left with the faux hawk, she didn't have really any experience doing beauty modeling. She did more lifestyle. She's actually an actress. And then the model on the right, this was the third or fourth time I had shot her, photographed her. And we worked together since she was like a younger model or a fresher model. And now does a lot of like lifestyle gigs. So it's really awesome. And I've enjoyed every second of it. And I love playing with light. Like, the studio is my thing. As you can tell, I have a studio backdrop behind me.
Oh yeah.
And, I love playing with light and just kind of harnessing it and creating something new with it too. So.
Yeah, and I picked this because it just kind of shows, okay, so you're being creative, you're standing, okay, and I love the creativity too. It's like, in fact, we're going to go into some now photos and such, because you're going to, I want to talk about, you decided to do a bit of a shift, a turn, and now you're kind of going in two different ways, both very, very important, and both very, again, service hero. Can we just say it? 2 words, service hero. 3 words.
Thank you.
Christy, service hero. There you go. Okay, so let's talk about that. You are doing special things, and I was like, okay, well, you have to live on the other side of the United States. I just need to be over there, and that's okay. That's all right. Travel. Or someday when I'm over there, I'm going to be like, okay, let's do
Absolutely.
this. And so you do things for women, and then you decided there was an area that was completely 100% underserved or not at all served.
Absolutely.
So let's go into that.
Okay, so when I first graduated college, I definitely wanted to stick in the commercial field, and then I had a friend who asked me to start doing portraits. And as I continued in my business, I kind of realized that I was really only capturing certain stages of life, and I wanted to be able to give back in a different way. I want to be able to give back with my photography, and I can volunteer, but I wanted to do something that was really uplifting and kind of service the age group that is the least photographed, which is the tween age or the preteen age, the 9 to 12. It's the stage of life where you are learning about yourself and really coming into who you are, and also is considered awkward. And I was telling Tamara on the phone earlier that my 6th grade picture is me in this like white cat sweatshirt, and my head is tilted to the side. And I have this, for me, it was an awkward stage. And we don't have a lot of photos of my family at that time. And so I wanted to do something that really captured that stage, because it's the last time that they're really going to be themselves without a lot of the peer pressure that comes in high school, because there's a little bit less. There is still peer pressure and bullying in junior high and younger, unfortunately. But it's a little bit less in there. And then once you get into high school, it's just like a war zone. So I decided to offer what I call the Proud to Be Me project. And it's a photo experience that is a special session that's customized to the preteens' likes and dislikes, and I love letting them have input in what they want to do. And so we talk about things like, do you love books, or are you into sports? Do you do dance, and all those different things. And we really customize the session to something they love. So this girl in particular, which she is a daughter of my friends, and she was obsessed with the Harry Potter books. and she loves to read, and she's super intelligent. Oh, she's absolutely amazing.
You can tell.
And, yeah,
I mean, are you guys not in love, not only with the image as a picture, but also that face, that spirit? I mean, it's all on. She's just like, okay, we're good here.
Yeah. So we definitely love to play. We played in the studio a lot, and she's one of my models who definitely had ideas. She's like, oh, let's try this. Oh, let's try this. I'm like, yes, let's do this. And then we'll also do this. And we just add on and kind of really play together. So they feel like it's something that's extra special for them, especially if they have siblings too. They're like, all the attention, she has 2 siblings, 2 brothers, and all the attention is on her. And really it was all about her. She had her hair done and a little bit of lip gloss, and it was a lot of fun. And then after the session, what we do is, I didn't mention this, but before we hold the session, I send out questionnaires to the parents, and they'll send them along to family and friends and teachers, and they get quotes about the child. So it's like if you had 3 words to describe Olivia, what would it be? Or your favorite thing to do with Olivia, or what are your hopes for her future? Thank you, Helene. And we send out that questionnaire, and then after the session, we do a slideshow set to music, and then we have those quotes either on images or after images. And they don't know that they're coming. They don't know anything about the questionnaire, so they're getting surprised. So they're seeing these beautiful images of themselves for the first time. It's really like uplifting them and making them feel proud and boosting self-confidence. And then they're hearing these special words from people that they love and know. And it's just like this high of happiness where you really feel like uplifted and confident, and you're like, yes, I am me, and I am awesome. And actually, the first girl, Olivia, when they recently moved away, and she asked if she could keep her album of her pictures with her in her backpack, because anytime she started feeling sad about the move, she would look back and be like, look at all these special words that these people said about me. Even though I'm not with them, I'm reminded of my special time in Florida. So it's a really great all around experience, and I absolutely love doing it. I love working with this age group. They're so much fun. It's so precocious a lot of times. And you're just like, I'm like, wait, you're only 11 and you know this big word, and you're just like, it's surprising to me a lot of the times, because you just don't realize. And like the girl on the left, the runner, she runs 10Ks with her mom. And wow. I'm like, I've never run a 10K, and I'm a full-grown adult, and I have no interest in running a 10K. I'll run 5, but not a 10. And then she also had, she is absolutely amazing as well, because she saw a classmate being bullied, and instead of just ignoring it, or instead of just letting it go away, she stood up for her, and part of that, took on some of the bullying herself, and then wrote a letter to her classmate, letting them know that she was sorry that others were treating her like this, and just really being a brave and strong young woman, and a great example for other people in the school as well. So both of those girls have amazing stories, but I really love creating these. Yeah.
And you can see it. You can see it in the images that you captured, and they will be able to revisit it and see it as they are growing up and blossoming into the adults that they are becoming. And, in both of them, I'm thinking, okay, how brilliant. You have the one there with the books. You have, the extra glasses. It says there's a story told in the image. The one right below me, there's the medals. She's wearing her medals and her ribbons, and that smile, that kind of like, okay, yeah. And looking off into the distance, and if she's a distance runner,
Yeah.
right there, I mean, the story is being told. So you have a beautiful gift of
Thank
being
you.
able, you're welcome to put together a beautiful image and to tell a story with a stationary image. And then you put these images together. I can only imagine what these slideshows are like. How empowering for these young tweens, it's so needed. And then you also are doing something else that is for the older crowd, right?
Yes. So, as I became a parent, especially a parent of two, I recognized that I not let myself go per se, but let go of all the self-care things that I would do. I never did makeup. I never did my hair. I never really focused on me. It was all about my kids. It was all about my family. That was first. I was last, and that was just how it was. And my confidence was tanking. Like, it was completely gone. I didn't really care about what I was wearing or how I looked anymore. And I know that if I was doing it, and as in talking to other parents, it's not an uncommon thing to kind of, your life changes and you're focusing on somebody else that's yourself. And I feel like it's extremely important, and it's great for mental health as well, to remember to take care of yourself, because we need those things. We need the confidence and the strength from that. And then we're also teaching our kids that self-love is important, and caring about yourself is important. And you can't just, like, I stopped working out and all of that stuff. And I felt weak and lazy, essentially. So what I decided to do was combine my love of beauty from the commercial world with portraits. And I created something I call beauty portraits. And what these are imagine like a magazine shoot, like a cover and editorial shoot for yourself. So the woman, it doesn't have to be a mom, but the woman of any age, she comes into the studio, she gets hair and makeup done, her favorite drink, snacks, all that great stuff. And then we spend about an hour and a half doing portraits. And so it's like 3 to 5 outfits, and it really feels like you're on a magazine set. There's a whole bunch of different sets, like different backgrounds, and I'm guiding them the whole way through. So a lot of people are like, I'm not photogenic, or I don't take good pictures. Like, I don't know what to do. What am I supposed to do? And that's why I'm here to say, okay, you know what? If we sit this way and then we create this space here, and this is what's going to help, give you this really great shape, or if you lean forward a little bit. And so we work together to help you feel confident in what we're creating. And then at the end, we do a slideshow with music again, and you get to see yourself in a way that as women, we usually don't. Because, I'm not a model, so I'm not ever on a cover of a magazine, but we really get to just play and create beautiful portraits that, once again, help that self-confidence. You're like, hey, look at that. Like, that could be a magazine cover. Actually, one of my reviews, I have a woman who has purple curly hair, and she's sitting on a chair. But one of the things she said, she goes, it felt like I was in a magazine. Like, it's the most amazing feeling to have gone through this experience. And like, I would have never thought about myself like that. I would have never thought, oh yeah, I'm just a mom. That's who I am. And you're like, this is me. I am me, and I'm confident in who I am, and I love myself. And what a great way to show your kids, and teach them about self-love, and show it's a reminder for yourself too.
Oh, absolutely. And I actually put the image there. I don't know if it's a mother-daughter or what the story. Okay.
It's mother-daughter.
Okay. And I'm thinking, what? And you also like the beauty and everything. And you like also like that strong, you were talking, that energy that comes through the camera and the lens, and you have this one here, and I absolutely love that. And then this one here, one of my favorites too. And so you are able to capture the beauty from within, and then also the strength and the image below me, the mother-daughter. You can spin off all day on that one. I mean, here's the passing the torch, the love that there's there, the magic, the mystery, the just the talent, the hobby, the whatever you want to say, and then the one there in the street where, oh my goodness gracious, that's like picture perfect, as they say.
Yes. So I can give a little bit of history on that. So the image of the mother-daughter, that's Natalia and her daughter Maria. And so Natalia was a dancer at Cirque du Soleil's Lanuba show while my husband worked there. And so one year she asked me to do her Christmas pictures, which these were the first year we did Christmas pictures together for her and her daughter. And she was the one who actually got me into photographing dancers and primarily ballerinas. But she's like, I have this idea. Let's do a couple different things. I was like, oh my gosh, wait, there's this great swing. We should definitely do something on the swing. And we really just spent about 45 minutes playing in this park and capturing a lot of different beautiful images. And Maria is also a dancer. She does ballet and she also does, I believe, hip hop too. But I've been photographing them for years, and I've actually done some beauty portraits essentially for Natalia as well. And part of that, I wanted to create a session in the city with tweens and teens. So she helped me gather together the girl in the second photo, Chantel, and do a really awesome twilight session in downtown Orlando. It was so much fun. I had 9 girls total during that session. And that's actually Maria. That's the same girl from the Christmas photo. Just a couple years later, we worked together.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's her daughter then.
Yeah, that's her daughter. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that was a lot of fun too, because we did a lot of images of them by themselves and then also a lot of stuff of them together. So it was just a really fun and exciting session having them dance in the streets of Orlando. It was a lot of fun. And as I said, I wouldn't be doing dancers even without Natalia, because she's really just been like, oh, hey, I know somebody. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. Let's just bring it on. So she's been absolutely great too.
You are fun. I mean, you're talented, but
thank you.
And I do not want to missed an opportunity to share this. You also have done the family kind of stuff too, right? I mean,
absolutely, yeah.
And here, let me bring that other one up. Where because it's not easy. I've done the big family thing, and
yeah,
like, okay, can we just get one that we can maybe Photoshop some of the faces or whatever we need to do, right?
I would just like to say that there are no head swaps in that photo, that big extended family, not a single head swap.
I was like so amazed, and I love this one below me with
the girls.
The sisters. Yeah. Oh, wow.
I love those girls. They're my favorite. They're some of my favorites, and I don't play favorites, but like I just really love photographing them. I photographed them. This was, I think, this second or third year. I think it was the third year that I photographed them in a row. And so I was like, okay, how do we make it different every time? So I love to try and figure out ways, because I do have a lot of clients that come to me every fall for their family photos for Christmas cards and for sending out. And I always love playing with them. They're a fun bunch. And actually, one of the girls, Lucy, the curly haired on the left, she runs with the help of her parents. It's called Spark Hope, which is an initiative to help feed the homeless in Orlando. Yeah. So
awesome.
You've actually picked some amazing clients there.
Oh,
so, yes.
Awesome. I love it. Oh, service hero. Junior service hero right down there. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Because we can all make a difference. We can all make a difference. And what a beautiful story there. So, and to get, especially you have a little one on a lap, when you get all the different people and all the different ages and all the everything, that's an incredible challenge.
Yes. And my experience in photographing groups started in doing sports photography, like teams. So getting teenagers and young kids, like all standing, like 15 kids standing together and trying to get them all look at the camera. And there was there's usually a little bit more head swaps until you get to like 11. So that was like my first experience. And then I shot weddings. And so doing extended families is like second nature at this point. I'm like, okay, like I know where we're going to be. We just need to make sure we have these groups. And then adults, just look at me and smile. No matter what is happening, just look at me and smile. I will get the kids working. If you do the same thing, we'll be solid. So it usually works out in that favor. So it's a lot of fun though.
So how'd you come up with your name? Tell us about the name, and then how'd you come up with it? How do you pronounce it?
It's Aura Lux Photography. It's Aura Lux, yeah. So it's very, 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 very loosely translated Latin. And it translates to golden light. Okay. So I wanted something to differentiate my business from my commercial business, which uses my name, mostly because when I started booking families, people would come and they would see photos of models and they'd be like, well, she can't do family. She does model photography. She's not going to be able to pose me. So I wanted to split them up. And one of the things that I loved in all of my family photos was the sun. And I love getting sun flares in the back of photos if I can. And I just love everything to be a little bit golden and warm. So I decided to start looking for every single possible way to say that without saying those words golden light. And I settled on Aura Lux, and that's actually why there's the gold rings around. It's kind of representative of the sun. So
I love it. Okay, and I have to bring this picture up. I just love this picture. I mean, yes. How can you not just like love that image? I was like, is that your son? You're like, no, that's a friend. But I have to still bring it up because it's like, is that not an adorable?
Yeah.
Adorable. That's the priceless picture that will be this person when they're 100 years old will have that up on the wall still because that was priceless photo. And those are the legacy pieces that when you have them in your family, they're priceless. And does that go back to again your experience even with your mom and everything, wanting to capture these precious moments?
Yes, and I don't recall if we spoke about this earlier, but so one of the things that really kind of pushed me towards really creating something that was a legacy for my clients, families, or even portraits of their children is that, so I'm 34 now, and I have 2 family portraits, 2 professional portraits of my family. The first one is when my sister and I were 2 and 4, and that's my mother, my father, and my sister and I. And then the other one I have was from a church directory with my grandmother. So it's my mom, my grandma, and my sister and I, and we were 10 and 12. I think we'd actually come back from Disney for the first time because I had the little like braided thing in my hair, but we only had 2 professional portraits. And it's something like looking back, like I don't have any professional portraits of my mom. I have seen one that I know of from when she graduated college, but we didn't do the professional portraits very often. So I don't really have that legacy to show my kids. Like I actually don't have very many pictures of my mom, even the ones that I took, like my dad has a lot of them actually, but I don't have a ton of them like to just show my kids. I don't have any pictures of my mom on the wall because I just don't have them. And I don't want my clients to not have that. Like life is, and I know it's morbid, but life is short. Life, it goes unexpected ways.
Life is life. Life is life.
Exactly. Yeah. And I want to make sure that I'm creating something that they're going to cherish and pass down and have these great portraits of their family or of their kids or of themselves to share and really enjoy for the rest of their lives. So,
well, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this because when I was going through my cancer, I was that mom that was always behind the camera. And when I went through my cancer journey, I realized then there weren't a lot of pictures. There were not a lot of them of me because I was the one always taking the pictures. I wasn't in the pictures. It was before we did selfie type pictures, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so there weren't. And that was one of the things that actually I had decided when after my cancer journey, I was going to make sure, if nothing else, I had something that they would be able to have and that my grandkids would be able to have. Now, there's like a ton of them. However, but it really is something that is so important, and I'm so glad that you're doing this. I am going to drop myself down from the line for a moment. I'm going to let you have a moment in time to share a nugget, some kind of a inspirational thought, something that you're thinking right now, and then I'll come back and then we'll finish out the show, okay?
Okay. I feel like this puts a lot of pressure on me, but that's okay. So something that I always hope for my clients and hope for myself is that we don't forget about ourselves, and we really try to treasure every moment, every stage of life. And because the thing is you'll never regret it. There's no regrets in having a picture taken or having a portrait done. There's no regrets in that time spent together and capturing those memories. And in life, it's always worth it. As a photographer and a mom, I am definitely the one behind the camera almost all the time. So I've never regretted any second that I've spent doing that. And I really appreciate everything. And thank you so much, Tamara, for bringing me on the show.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, how could I not? I mean, truly, I am forever grateful for you and to you and your character of who it is that you are, your internal integrity, and just reaching out. You went far beyond what most people would ever do in the initial reach out, and then to engage, and then to stay and help and you followed up until we knew that it was, you stayed engaged until we knew we had won. And then it was like, okay, yes. And we celebrated it, right there in our typing. And I knew then that I wanted to make a very, I wanted to give you the honor that you deserve and recognize you for who you are. And then to find out even more about your story and everything. It is an honor for me to know you. You're welcome. I am deeply grateful for you, and I really want to do anything that I can. And guys, if you know anybody that is in the Orlando area or anywhere in that close that would travel in, let's just share Christy's information, because right now during this period of time we still need pictures, right? And there's still ways of getting them, doing it safely, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. The great thing about being a photographer and having a lot of experience and also a lot of equipment, which comes with that too, is that it's very easy to do a session where I am safely distanced from everybody. So I have a super long lens, and I can stay not even 9 feet away sometimes for a session. And it does involve me raising my voice to direct you a little bit more, but it's not hard to make it happen, especially now. And I take all the extra precautions and wear a mask on top of being 6+ feet away. And it's worth it. Why not now? Why not now? Especially a lot of people are, a lot of people have a little bit more time on their hands, and it's summer too, so summer vacations, and it's a great time. It's a great time to get photos taken.
You're giving me the idea that it is a great time, and why not, in truth, do one with masks? I mean, like, right? And whatever you want, they can be serious or like, okay, yeah, I'm wearing it, whatever, make it fun. And
Absolutely.
That's what I love doing. Well, thank you for spending this time with us, letting us get to know the amazing person that you are. Look at that smile. And I can only imagine what your mother thinks of you, watching you and your growth and who you are. She has to be so proud.
Thank you. I always do everything with kind of that in my mind too, and just thinking about how she would feel about me doing what I'm doing. So it's definitely led me to give back and encourage others to do the same too. And also, if you need chemo buddies in Orlando, and anyone that I can help with, I'd be happy to help as well.
Well, then
it's important to me.
You are now officially a buddy. How's that?
Yay! Absolutely. Yay. Oh, I'm so honored. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
So you are now a service hero and a buddy.
Yay!
All right. So as we close today, July the 17th, 2020, the Service Hero Show, 365 Days of Awesome. Celebrate success through service. Yes, Christy Marks, we have absolutely made the case. You are a service hero. You are giving to so many. You personally gave to me, and I will forever be grateful to you. And I know that you are helping so many. The area that you are serving also with the tweens, thank you for that, because I know many of us women and guys, yes, but I'm going to go there with the women, that many of us remember those awkward years, and to be able to have something so special and to say you are special, it will help that much more. And right now we need to give our tweens all the confidence that we can, and so that they can maneuver through the years that they've got ahead and do it in a healthy way, and help them to become the stalwart people that they're going to be as adults. So thank you. Thank you for everything you do. All right, guys. Today is TGIF Friday, and the close. Yes, and I'm going to send you a link to get you into the community, awesome. Christy. And tonight we have coming in one of our ambassadors that's been with us for a couple of years, and she teaches on it feels good to feel good and how to take the toxins out of our lives. She needed to do that, and now she has written 2 amazing fact-filled books that are a lot of fun too. She's going to tell her story. She's going to teach us. She rewrote some of the chapters in the first book because she started working with us in the Chemo Buddies, and she realized that there was a need for those that are affected by cancer to understand how the toxins in our world may be affecting us and what we can do about it. And we can do it in simple ways, not overwhelming ourselves. So be there at 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern. Closed group. 2 things. What takes place stays there. It doesn't go outside of the group, and it's a safe place. So we are sharing humor, hope, heart, hugs, and a lot of love. See you tonight. Bye, everyone.
Bye.